Today we're talking about weight loss during the holidays. Can you do it? You could, but I wouldn't suggest it. So I want to give you an alternative way to approach it because um, holiday eating, vacation eating, when you're sick eating, I think you got to adjust, right? You got to adjust based on the situation. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. So what I like to recommend to my clients and what I personally follow is during holidays, during vacations, is I change up my expectations, what I expect out of myself. And so I go into a mode that I call minimizing the damage. All right. So I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to eat what I want to eat within reason. You know what I mean? Again, I don't go wild. So I am looking to kind of not eat way too much, but I'm absolutely not. I want to repeat this. I'm absolutely not trying to restrict my eating on holidays and vacations. I want to enjoy myself. And so there's a reason for that. Well, I guess there's two reasons. One is you're probably not going to anyways. Okay. So, it's like if you set yourself up to go into a holiday and say, okay, I'm going to eat perfect. And then you don't, you put that frame around it, then you can feel like a failure. Like, oh, I blew it. I blew it again. But I mean, boy, the pressure of eating, really well on, if you're going to do Easter and you get all this food around you and it's a family and it's a celebration, to expect you're not going to eat any of it is kind of crazy, So I think that what we want to do is we want to change the expectations. And again, that minimize the damage mode where we're not going to, we're not going to go crazy, but we are going to eat more than we typically do. And so one of the biggest benefits of this is that it allows you to feel almost on plan, right? Because you're changing the goalpost a little bit for this situation. And so there's a benefit to that, because it doesn't feel like you totally let yourself down. It feels like, okay, I acted exactly like I wanted to. And the other point of doing this, though, and I think this is the big one, is that the reason we want to master our weight is we want to have the best quality of life, right? That's the big goal here. And the idea that your weight loss is going to be that you can never eat the food you like ever it just feels like shit. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't feel good. And so there's not a lot of motivation there. And so when we start to kind of orient our weight loss success, our weight mastery around, I'm going to master my weight so that I can really, truly enjoy when it's holidays, when it's vacation, and I can eat what I want. Again, we're not going wild with it. So we are always kind of to some degree managing things, but we're certainly not trying to be perfect. And that feels a lot more sustainable. It feels more natural. And I think that it really supports that foundational piece of the weight mastery that we talk about, where you're doing this for life, and again, it's really oriented around pleasure, so this sends your subconscious mind a completely different signal. When you allow yourself to eat more of the foods on holidays and vacations, it sends a message that this is a long-term approach. Because I've been doing well with my weight, now I can eat that. And it's more than just the number on the scale. And so maybe, next week, maybe I'll put a pound or two on, from how I've been eating. And that's okay. All right. There's not a problem with that. And so when we think long-term, putting a pound or two on is not a big deal because we go right back to how we were the following week. And then we drop that weight, but we got to experience that enjoyment during that time. And it just reinforces the entire approach we're doing here, which is it's long-term. It's about weight mastery, and weight mastery requires that you have variations within what you're doing, right? You've got to get yourself out of that diet mindset, which is one approach. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing. And so, because life's not one thing, right? You can't just stick to one eating plan forever. You need to have some variations in it because life has variations in it. And so you want to adjust for that. All right. So this weekend, especially, right, is Easter coming up. If you have, Easter type foods, company, you're celebrating, hosting, all this stuff here, enjoy yourself, right? Again, use this as time to enjoy the food, enjoy what you're eating, minimize the damage. And then when Monday comes around, get right back on track, and it's easier to get back on track on Monday when you feel like there's a kind of give and take here. You see what I mean? Like, again, it's sending you a message that it's not deprivation forever, right? That's the dieting mindset. That's the dieting belief we start to create. You start to train yourself. No, I eat well Monday through Friday so that I can enjoy the weekend. I eat well Monday through Friday, consistently so that when a holiday or vacation comes, I can enjoy what I'm eating and I can enjoy it. This is the ultimate goal. I can enjoy it guilt-free, and that really helps because I don't get too much into this, but this works even better when you do this consistently. So when you have Monday through Friday clean, Saturday, Sunday are more pleasure-based eating, and then you get back on track clean again. And so you're always practicing getting back on track. So what you eat on Sunday is way less important than your ability to get back on track Monday and then eat relatively clean for the next week. Okay. That's way more important than what you eat on Sunday. And so sometimes enjoying yourself on Sunday and Easter and eating the food you want to eat, it kind of relieves that pressure. And then say, okay, now I'm getting ready to get back on track. Now, again, there's also the potential for extra cravings, right? When you eat, more of the sugar Monday, you're cravings for unhealthy foods. So I can anticipate Monday, my eating may not be as clean as it typically is on Mondays. All right. So I'm prepared for that. I'm okay with that, but it's worth it. And I am willing to deal with that because, again, in the big picture, I want to have the ability to enjoy myself on vacations and holidays. That's the reason that I master my weight, to increase my quality of life. And my quality of life would go down if I could never enjoy a holiday or vacation eating. Okay. My quality of life goes up when I can enjoy holiday and vacation eating at my goal weight, being as healthy as I want to be. So I want you to start thinking that way. But enjoy yourself and minimize the damage. All right. And have a great Easter if you celebrate it. All right. So yeah, if you have any questions, Jill, I see you there. Hello. How you doing? Yep. Happy Good Friday. If you celebrate Good Friday, I hope you're having a nice weekend preparing to have a nice Easter, Yeah, if you all have any questions, feel free to ask them. Here, just doing a quick live before I got to go do some things. I always like to check in with you all. How's it going, Jill? How's it going out there in London town? Are you in London? I know you're in England, but I never know if you're in London. I always forget that. But yeah, how is everyone doing? I mean, everyone traveling? What I hear today, 27 million Americans, at least anyways, travel during the Easter weekend. A lot of people, huh? I haven't flown in a while, so I don't know how the hell that goes. I always hear like there's all delays and things all the time now. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. And what do people eat for Easter? Easter's one of those ones, right? I guess Easter's a lot of candy, right? That's kind of the thing. We do brunch foods. So it's like, it's funny. Different holidays, I guess, have different eating connotations to them, right? I mean, obviously Thanksgiving's the eating holiday of the year, probably followed by Christmas, right? And then Easter, how does that factor in? Probably more candy based. That's kind of what we do. It just says if we were stronger enough to stick to clean eating more than 5 days a week, I guess that's okay. Yeah. Oh, that too. Yeah, I didn't even mention that, right? So yeah, if you are someone who's just in the flow, right? I mean, just in the zone, just killing it. Yeah, then you eat great. Eat great at Easter. It's always balancing that whole thing out. Because what can actually be oddly detrimental is when we start on a diet and we stick to it so intensely. Like I've seen people do this, like they'll go on vacation and they're going to stick to a diet. And I find that to be ultimately a bad decision because they'll knuckle and they'll grin, white knuckle at the whole vacation and eat well. And then they get done with the vacation and then they're pissed off that they didn't enjoy themselves on the vacation. And then they tend to overeat for months. I've seen that a lot. And so again, when we talk about weight mastery, it's that long-term approach. And so you want to get good at being able to kind of loosen the reins a little bit, eat a little more for fun, and then pull them back in, But yeah, obviously, sometimes you're just in the zone, and you just really want to eat well, even Easter, holidays, whatever. I've done that a couple of times, for sure. But, once you kind of, when you've been doing this for a while, again, like I'll look forward to eating all sorts of stuff on Sunday. Now, again, I got to tell you, it changes over the years, like the longer I eat clean, I find holidays to be very interesting and vacations, where when I was first starting, when I go on vacation or holiday mode, I would definitely eat a lot more. Like there was kind of like I don't want to say I was binging, but it was in that direction. And as time goes on, now, again, there's something that happens when you take, when I say like minimize the damage, one of the other benefits that's going on there is you're changing the frame around your eating. Okay. So Easter will come for me on Sunday and I already know that eat whatever I want. Now I've done this long enough to know that like what I want to eat, I don't just go wild because I've done that in the past. But they say good judgment's the result of bad judgment. And so in the past I have said, oh, it's a holiday, it's vacation, eat what you want. And I've done that. And then I've eaten so much, I feel like shit, And so I connect to that feeling and I'm well aware of that. So when Sunday comes up this year, this is after, many, many, many years of in doing this trial and error and recognizing bad choices and want to make better choices. So when Sunday comes up, I will minimize the damage. I'll eat what I want, but what I want to eat now, very congruently and genuinely, is I want to enjoy myself, but I don't want to overeat because I hate feeling. I think of like I don't like to drink like I used to because I've really connected to the hangover part of it, and I hate feeling that way. And I've done a lot of work to just really tap into the pain of drinking, and so that's how I think of it. And I've done the exact same thing with food. There are food hangovers. I think we all know this, although you may not, because it's really a skill you need to develop. You know, your awareness you take for granted. You think you're just aware of everything and you're not. And so as you develop your awareness of how you feel after you eat, you know, overeat or eat the wrong food, as you develop that, it really does help you eat better in a very natural way, because I always tell myself I can eat whatever I want. But what I want to eat is not just what tastes good. I'm also taking into account how I feel 10 minutes afterwards. And so Sunday will come, and I have enough experience now where I've taken the frame off. Like, I have to eat well. I can eat whatever I want. I'm going to overeat everything. But now all of a sudden, you know, when I think about it, I'm thinking in a much more, I think, accurate way. I want to enjoy the flavors and the taste of the food, but I also don't want to feel like shit for 3 hours after finishing eating, you know, or drinking too much. You know what I mean? I don't like that feeling. I feel like it zaps my life out of me. I don't want to lose 3 hours of my life because I ate, you know, 4 helpings of food. You know, I don't want to do that anymore. And so sometimes minimizing the damage and taking that, forcing yourself to eat well, it frees up energy to be aware of what you're doing, you know? Yeah, you're mindful eating. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But mindful eating is something you have to develop. You know what I mean? Like, I think we all know this, but, you know, and even I always say this, you're never going to be a truly mindful eater. You can't be, you know, you can structure your eating. You know what I mean? Like, I structure my eating. I'm reading this book. I can tell you it's so good. It's called The Willpower Instinct. I'll do a bunch of lessons on it over the next couple of weeks, but, it's, you know, with dieters rely way too much on willpower. Like they're just gonna be able to stop themselves from eating. But mindful, that idea of mindful eating as well is another one where I think people think they'd be really mindful all the time, and you're not. Your brain's not built for that. I'm mindful eating, but I'm not really a mindful eater. What I am is I'm very structured. So when I go into like holiday eating mode, I have a frame that I kind of step into. I say, okay, this is holiday eating mode. It's unusual. Like, what I'll eat Sunday is different than what I typically eat on Sundays. And so I go into that mode, and it is mindfulness, but it's mindfulness from the past that's now I've used to program myself as I go into Sunday. So I won't really even be that mindful Sunday as much as I've kind of trained myself how to eat on Sunday. I hope that makes sense. It's a slightly different thing, but anyways, yeah, Jill says the food come in the numbness, right? Easy not to drink, but food still always win over me. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, here's the thing, you know, that's what in my program, one thing we talk about a lot is utilization, and the idea that you're either winning or you're learning. What's up, Tracy? You're winning or you're learning. And so it's very interesting, especially for a dieter, right? Because when you go on a diet, you're really trying to force yourself not to overeat or not to do the wrong thing. And I find it a lot more effective when you kind of ease off of the forcing yourself, and you just start saying, I'm going to eat what I want. Because at first you say, oh, if I eat what I want, I'm going to eat everything. And you could say that, but after you've done that and you feel like shit after eating everything you want, you've got to readjust what you want to eat, right? You know what I mean? You got to take into account. You know, I can't even associate this anymore, but I used to love drinking, you know, but after a while I started really focusing on the after effect, the hangover. And I started redefining, I don't love drinking, because you have to look at the full picture, the effects that follow it afterwards, you know? And, so if you do overeat on Sunday, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel bad about it. Connect to that feeling, because that's what changes the subconscious association you have to eating, again, overeating or eating the wrong foods. Instead of just saying, oh God, what did I do that? I'm such a jerk. I'm a bad person. We want to connect to the feeling. No, I don't love these foods. I feel like shit right now. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, it comes down to consumption versus consequence. And most people are just so fixated food-wise on the consumption of it, that's all they focus on is the eating of the food, just the eating when it's on their tongue and they're swallowing it, and that's it. But there's a consequence that always follows what you eat. And if you start paying attention to that consequence and focusing on that, because it's a truth, it's always there. You just don't pay attention to it. And if you start paying attention to that 5-10 minutes, how you feel mentally, emotionally, physically after the eating like that, It feels like shit. And eventually, you know, if you keep focusing on that, your brain says, I don't want that, you know? And so you can utilize the overeating without just trying to stop yourself. If you do overeat, you want to utilize that. Don't beat yourself up about it. Utilize it by connecting to that feeling so that you can start to remember eventually, you know, as you move into the future, when you get to that moment, it's like, do I want to eat that? Well, you think about the pain of it from the last night. You know what? I don't. I just want to have a bit of it. And that's where I'm at. It's much more congruent. So I can say I eat what I want, you know, and most people say, oh, I eat what I want. I'll eat everything. Well, you don't want to eat that way. A, it feels like shit after you're done. And B, it gives you a body that you're not happy with. You know what I mean? So you got to look at the big picture. You got to zoom out. Don't just focus on the eating part of it. You know what I mean? Look at the big picture. It's a fact that when you push yourself to eat more veggies and fruit, you don't even want the unhealthy. Yeah, that's definitely true. I always say that to people, like most people kind of combine their eating in terms of like the diet mentality is all or nothing, right? So it's like, I'm going to stop eating the bad stuff and then I'll start eating the good stuff. And then as soon as they eat something bad, they stop eating the good stuff. So I would say you want to silo that. And the main thing is to nourish yourself, no matter what. Eat the shitty food, but still put that good stuff in your body, even if you eat like shit, because it's going to, just like this person says, it's going to change you. You know what I mean? Like it fills you up. It makes you a different version of yourself when you're nourishing your body. And so even if you eat shitty food, still eat the good stuff. I had a whole program called Addictive Health, and it was based on that exact thing. Smoke your cigarettes, eat your shitty food, drink your alcohol, do all that stuff. Don't even change it. Let's just do the healthy stuff though. You know what I mean? Like people are just so, it's like all or nothing. And if you can break that, it's one of the most powerful mental shifts you can make. Do your shitty stuff, but still do the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like in the moment, because it gives you more energy. It gives you more power, it gives you more focus, more clarity, more willpower, everything, you know? So even if you're doing kind of the wrong stuff, you know, still encourage yourself to do the right stuff. Oh my goodness. I don't know what you're saying. I'll go into this too, Linda. I eat and I feel full and warm. Okay. Yeah, sure. You may, you know what I mean? But I would say, I'll tell you, there's my story, right? I always tell this one that I remember I started doing yoga at night. This is when I was like 19. I started doing yoga at night for an hour. That was a new habit I had. I remember one night I'd eaten a meatball grinder for dinner. And about 2 hours later, when I go to do yoga. And I remember sitting down to do yoga and I was like, oh, holy shit. I feel horrible. I feel like I'm like, oh, I couldn't even move. I felt horrible. And I remember thinking at that time, I was like, what the hell is going on? You know? And I was like, oh, it's because of what I ate. And then I thought, oh my God, I eat meatball. I eat like that every single night. I'm like, how come I've never felt that? I realized that I never sat quietly with my body after I ate like that. I always would eat like that and then go watch TV. You know, I'd disassociate from my body. So I'm guaranteeing you that when people say, oh, I love eating. If you go and eat your normal thing and then take 3 minutes and go sit somewhere quietly with your body by yourself and connect to your body and experience the effects of those foods on you, because you're not aware of them. You're not aware of them. And so, yeah, when we say I feel full and warm and whatever, yeah, because you're probably on your phone, you're probably on the computer, you're watching TV, you're disassociated from your body. Almost guarantee it, you know? And so even Sunday, overeat. Again, overeating is not the problem. The problem is we overeat and then we disassociate. And so we never change anything. Overeating is great if you go connect to your body and you say, oh my God, I feel horrible. And you do, you just don't realize it. And I'll give you an idea of this is I just made a video on this because I had this thought yesterday. I'm like, you know, if I was in a time machine, I went back 100 years, right? And I saw someone smoke and I said, oh my God, you know, hey, don't smoke. Cigarettes are bad for you. They would look at me like I was insane. Right? They'd be like, what are you talking about? Right. And so think about 100 years ago, people were smoking cigarettes, combustible smoke into their lungs all day long, and they didn't think it was unhealthy. So, you know, this idea that we realize what's bad for us, or we realize what's healthy is bullshit. You realize what's unhealthy most of the time based on your conditioning. And so people were conditioned 100 years ago to think of cigarettes as this benign thing. And now we think of them completely different, right? But the same thing's happening with the food. You know, think about if I dropped you off in the woods, you literally wouldn't be able to spike your glucose levels. You literally wouldn't be able to spike your blood sugar. You couldn't do it. How would you do it? You know what I mean? Short of finding a beehive. That's literally the only way you could have done it, you know? And now you're spiking your blood sugar 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day, potentially. You know what I mean? So we are living in a trance where we're thinking about these foods and we're minimizing the damage, the exact same way that people are minimizing the damage of cigarettes. You know? So anyways, that was my spiel. Exactly, no longer tolerate certain foods. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the future of diet culture? Well, you know, I talk about this all the time. Diet culture is the biggest trap. Oh, it could be me, but you're cutting out. I'm so sorry. I need to talk with you. What do you want to talk about, Linda? Am I cutting out for other people? I don't know. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Diet culture. Don't get me started, right? Anyone that watches me knows that's my main thing I talk about. Because you know, diet culture, I always put it this way, right? That if you're struggling with your weight, the number one reason you're struggling with your weight is a mindset, right? Your mindset's more impacting your weight more than your genetics, your hormones, your metabolic disorders, your menopause, any of it, you know. Please friend me. You friend me, send me a thing, and when I get off of here, I'll do it. Oh, okay. Christy. I always try and figure out the names of people. So if I ever mess up your names, I apologize for that. Yeah, shoot me a message if you ever want to talk to me. I got my email and my link, and you can just message me and whatever. But oh yeah, diet culture. All right, so let me get started with that. With diet culture, yeah, I would say that the number one trap you're in is a diet mindset. And so, you know, the diets, let me just start off here, diet culture. So the future of diet culture, what I would like to think is that it'll be gone, but I don't know, because the diets really are the food companies, right? So Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. The company that owns Atkins Food Products, the same company that owns Auntie Anne's Pretzel and Cinnabon. Slim Fast is owned by the same company that owned Ben and Jerry's ice cream. So these companies don't want you to lose weight, right? What the diets are is it's usually like the one tactic, right? And they'll give you one tactic to follow. Just stop eating carbs, stop eating for 14 hours a day. You know, whatever it may be, it's one tactic and they tell you what to do. And then you're left to try and figure it out yourself. So that's a big problem. But the biggest problem with the diet mindset is that it's a temporary mindset, right? You're going to diet until you lose the weight. And that causes all kinds of problems. It keeps you, it's a literal mental prison, is that temporary mindset that you have around weight loss. And so, you know, I always ask, like if I asked you, how long would you like to lose the weight for? Right? You're going to say forever. I always want to lose the weight, but you're completely not thinking that way. You know, you're just obsessed. I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight. And so the truth is you don't want to lose the weight. What you really want is you want to return to your goal weight and live the rest of your life at your goal weight on near autopilot. And that's a much different goal subconsciously, because your subconscious mind is extremely literal. And so when you keep talking about losing weight, what ends up happening, I mean, even if you're able to lose the weight, because this is what I deal with. I've done over 5,000 private weight loss sessions. And so what ends up happening is that people end up, the ones that are able to stick with it, they lose the weight and then they don't know what to do. And I know that sounds silly because I always ask, you know, when they're losing weight, so what are you going to do when you get your goal weight? What are you going to do then? I don't know. I'll figure it out then. No, you won't. You won't figure it out then, because you're going to get there and you're going to freak out. I literally had someone in my program 8 weeks, right? And this was a lot of weight they lost. They lost 28 pounds, which is definitely on the high end, you know, for my program, I would say, because it's really not about fast weight loss. Okay. But anyways, that they told me they got half a pound under their lowest weight they've been in 30 years. And she goes, I freaked out. Okay. So that's even doing my program where we're talking about the stuff and we're working on it. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you may not like the weight that you're at. You may not like being overweight and dealing with it, but you are familiar with it. And your brain is a prediction machine. And in order to predict things effectively, it loves the status quo. Okay. It loves what it knows. And so you don't like the extra weight, but you are very familiar with being that person who's always struggling with food, who's always talking about how you want to lose weight, who's always starting to diet, is always thinking about this stuff. And so to all of a sudden become a person who's in control of your weight, who's in control of your eating, who's eating right, who's living right at the weight you want to be at, that's a different version of you. And you need to prepare and practice being that version of you, because your relationships change because of it. Your lifestyle changes. You change when you become a long-term thin person. You're not just going to be the same person who magically looks totally different. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, the diet mindset, it really minimizes what's going on here. It says, oh, you just be the same person, but you just cut out carbs. No, for you to cut out carbs, Like, you know what I mean? You got to transform. And I always say my program's like an inside out approach to change, because I don't know how you would ever, again, anyone can lose weight for a little while. You know what I mean? Like you've done that, you know, but to transform yourself, I always say you got to take your weight loss and wrap it in personal development. This is a process of you becoming the person you want to be. It's not just you saying the same, just changing up some of your eating. You know, you need to change how you think, how you habitually think, feel, and behave in order to become that person you want to be. And you have no real strategies to do that. The diets like woefully underprepare you. They're woefully inadequate. You know, you're bringing a stick to a bazooka fight with a diet, you know, and this is why it never works. And I say this because if you're watching this, you've probably been trying diets for 20, 30, 40 years. And you know as little about how to lose weight now as you did before you started your first diet. You know, you have no idea how to motivate yourself. You have no idea how to shift your mindset. You have no idea how to add and deal with habits in your life. You know, no idea how to deal with the emotions, how to feel the emotions you want, and deal with the shitty emotions you don't want to feel. You know, no idea how to think like a thin person. No idea how to maintain your new behaviors. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I don't say this to make you feel bad, just to point out, because the big mistake people make is they say, oh, there's something wrong with me. I don't know the willpower. Oh, why can't I do this? That's what you're obsessed with. I know your mind better than you. I've never met you, and I know what you're thinking more than you know, because I've done over 5,000 private weight loss sessions. You start to notice patterns because everyone's hypnotized by the diets. So it's all the same mindset that y'all have, you know? And it's like you're in your head, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stick with a plan? I want to lose weight so bad. Why can't I do this? How come I can't stick with it? What's wrong with me? You know, it's all some version of that. And that is the hypnosis, right? Because we're all our own best or worst hypnotists, because we're all up in our head talking to ourselves all day long, you know, and you're hypnotizing yourself. You're literally programming yourself to be overweight because you think like a dieter, and a dieter is an overweight person, you know, and it's a sneaky way, but it's a way nonetheless. And so anyways, you got to change your mindset. You got to change your subconscious programming in order to get the weight loss results you want. Otherwise, it's deprivation, it's struggle, it's frustration. Then you lose the weight, and then it's fucking panic and fear because you're like, how long am I able to keep this off? I hope I don't want to put the weight back on. Oh shit. I put a pound on. Oh God, I don't know how long I'm able to do this. And then you put the weight back on. Is that not what you've experienced? You know, that's the typical one, you know? Linda says, what does it say? Oh, Lena says, is cheese okay to eat if you are trying to lose weight? Oh, well, it's how I get protein. Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad you asked that because, you know, I made a video the other day, 5 snacks I eat that keep me thin. And, you know, one of the snacks is apples and peanut butter. Another one's bananas with peanut butter. And someone's like, hey, sorry to tell you, peanut butter is one of the most calorie intense things there is. Yeah. Well, so what? It's very satisfying to me. And so I eat it and I'm at the exact weight I want to be at. And I'm very comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not dealing with cravings. I'm not hungry. And so I think that don't just base what you're eating just on calories. You know what I mean? Yes, you have to lower calories to lower your weight. Okay. But you want to be strategic. You know, talk about something that doesn't exist within weight loss for people, because every diet is a tactic. Think about it. Every diet, Weight Watchers, you're going to count your points. Keto, you're going to get rid of carbs. Intermittent fasting, you're going to stop eating for a period of time. Low fat diet, obviously, you're just going to cut down. You're just going to eat low fat, cut the fat out of your foods. It's always a one tactic thing. And your weight loss is a holistic thing. You know, I always say that people approach the weight loss, you think of it like it's like a bank account with credits and debits, but your weight is really like the stock market. There's a lot of factors there. And I know this can sound well, oh my God, oh more. But you know, when you start to appreciate the holistic approach to it. So what I mean is, okay, well, cheese, yeah, has more calories than other foods. But if cheese satisfies you because I'll eat toast with peanut butter than an apple with peanut butter for breakfast. But then I am 100% completely satisfied until noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No, I don't want a snack. I don't need a snack. So, you know what I mean? Like the calories I'm eating there, if I don't anything else and it keeps me satisfied, you know what I mean? That's strategic thinking though. Something no one does when it comes to weight loss. You know, that's why my program, you create your own custom weight mastery blueprints, mindset blueprint, lifestyle blueprint, eating blueprint. They're based around you. Because if you like cheese and cheese is satisfying to you, then maybe you should eat it. And if it gives you protein and that's what you do, again, there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. Okay. And so, yeah. So yeah, is it okay to eat if you're trying to lose weight? If it makes you feel satisfied and allows you to reduce your calories, then yeah. because someone said, oh, you can't eat peanut butter. There's too many calories in it. That's that stupid fucking mindset. It makes me nuts. That's that low fat mindset. You can't eat any fat. You can't eat any calories. Now, again, I know you say, oh, yeah, we got to lose weight. We got to cut calories. Yeah, but you got to be strategic about it. You know, because here's what most people do when they want to lose weight. They cut the calories way down and now they're starving and now they can do it for a couple of days. Okay. So I cut the calories down to a point and now I'm really comfortable. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't like to eat cheese. No, I don't like to eat dairy. You know what I mean? But that's me. So again, who gives a shit what I like to eat? You know, Lena, you're you. So if you like eating cheese and that's like one of your favorite things, I would build my weight loss around that. I like peanut butter a lot. And so I don't want to give up peanut butter. If I try and give up peanut butter, all of a sudden I stoke my cravings, my deprivation feelings, and now it's a hard white knuckle shitty affair. And so I'll eat my peanut butter because I like it and it satisfies me and it makes it easy for me not to eat other stuff. Again, strategic thinking based around me. What a concept, huh? Okay, I've been to numerous people about my head lately, and the thing that they say is eat leafy. Yeah, eat leafy, sure. I think every leafy greens, I got a feeling what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, I think that everyone should be plant-based. Everyone should follow a plant-based diet. Now, if you want to eat meat, that's fine too, but I think the core of your eating should be plant-based. You're a human being, and that's what you've evolved over millions of years to eat is plant-based foods. That's primarily what you ate. Okay. And we live in the goddamn Garden of Eden right now. You can get any fruit, vegetable, greens, beans you want. I mean, it's amazing. And so, yeah, you want to eat more of that because that's natural food. That's real food. The shit coming in boxes and bags is not real food, you know? And so it's messing up your metabolism. It's messing up your hunger, your hormones, all of it, you know? So yeah, leafy greens. Now it doesn't have to be just leafy greens. That's the problem with the diet. That's another part of the diet culture. It's so fucked up. It's like this idea that this makes me nuts. Because people are going to do it Monday. Monday's going to be a big one because that's like, okay, I'm going to wait till after Easter and then I'm going to start my plan. And so it's going to eat like shit all weekend. And then Monday's going to come and they think they're going to cut 50, 60% of their calories out. Right. And it's like, no, you're not for long. You know, it's like, that's that diet idea that you're going to start day one being perfect. You know, it's so stupid. There's nothing else in your life. You're just going to start one day when you're learning something, you're just going to sit down and expect yourself to be perfect. But dieting, yeah, right. And so, yeah, eat more leafy greens, but you don't just all of a sudden tomorrow, your leafy greens, that's all you eat, you know, just start adding it into your diet. But yeah, leafy greens, of course, that's great for you. All greens, beans, fruits, vegetables, you know what I mean? The more you can put that into your body, the better off you're going to be, you know? It's a real problem for me, nothing or everything, because after eating much less for weeks and lose weight, afterward, you just eat much more and gain it all back. How do you get out of that cycle? Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, it's just a natural response. I mean, I'm not making shit up when I say people cut 50, 60% of their calories out. The average American consumes 2,700 calories a day. That's what people say. Okay. And so the average diet's telling you to go down to 1,200, 1,400 calories a day. That is such an enormous drop. I mean, I always joke, like, it's like if you never play the piano, you want to play the piano. That's like starting day one. I'm going to practice 8 hours a day. Maybe for one day, maybe. And the next day, your fingers all cramped up and you can't do anything, you know? So literally willpower is like a muscle. And so those days when you're like, okay, I'm going to start my diet, and you get through 5 days of cutting your calories down by 50%. And it's like by the end of those 5 days, you're absolutely depleted. Your willpower is absolutely depleted. And then you just go back. You go back into your mode. Now, what's happening on a deeper level is you have a conscious and a subconscious mind. All of your habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all subconscious programs that run automatically. And so your eating is an automatic behavior. You don't have to remind yourself to eat the ice cream at night on the sofa. You just automatically remember it, right? You're not thinking about it. You just do it. And so when I go on a diet, what it is for you, the way you're approaching it, you have these subconscious programs of eating and thinking and feeling, but mostly the eating ones that you're focusing on. And then you use your willpower and try and fight against them. You try and repress them for a little while, right? Okay, 5 days in, okay. And then you're like, oh, I can't do it anymore. And then the programs just go right back to where they were, you know? And then it's called the counter-regulatory effect or the what the hell effect. It's one and the same. And this is specific to dieters because they regulate their eating so much. And what happens is you're not eating intuitively anymore. You lose control of your hunger signals because you're just trying to stop yourself eating. You're eating mentally, consciously. And so you stop paying attention to your eating and your full signals, your hunger and your full signals. And so all of a sudden, you know, you're restricting your eating, and then you let go of it, and then you way overeat. And then that's called the what the hell effect. Look it up. I think you'll find it interesting. But it's because of the dieting, though. It's a response to the dieting, you know. I'm so sorry I can't do this. Alcohol. All right, Linda. I'm so crazy. Are you drinking alcohol right now? If I drink a milkshake with normal milk, move out the way. Yeah. Yeah. That's how it is, you know? So, yeah, but the counter regulatory, the what the hell effect, it's fascinating. You know, you should look it up though, because at the very least, you'll stop thinking that it's a you problem, you know? Because I know that you think right now that, you know, it's your willpower, it's your weak willpower and your weak mind that you can't stick with a diet, you know, and you do it, then you can't stick with it. But really what's happening, oh, thanks, Don. Yeah, I did a webinar yesterday. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But it's not you, you know, the fact you haven't been able to lose weight with diets, you take that on as a personal shortcoming. And I'm here to beg you. It's not you. It's the diet. Diets don't work, right? The estimates are 39% of the people can't make it past a week on a diet. 75% can't make it past a month, and 95% of people can't ultimately stick with a diet to keep the weight off. You know, when numbers are that shitty, it's not you, it's the strategy. It's a horseshit strategy. It doesn't work for anyone. When you have a friend or anyone you know that's like, oh, I'm going to go on this new diet and lose the weight, do you ever for a second think it's going to work for them? Like, honestly, do you ever believe in for a second that they're going to lose the weight? You know, usually not. And so, you know, again, when you feel that way, that's just you know, that's a message that you should find a better way to do it. And the better way, I mean, obviously, is my program. That's one way. But, you know, it's taking it slow and steady. It's like anything else, you know. So, again, this is another diet mindset, is that you're approaching your weight loss is what you have to stop. It's always about what you have to stop doing. I got to stop overeating. I got to stop being overweight. I got to stop all the things you got to stop doing. And you create a vacuum, you know, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? Who are you going to be? And you never think about that, you know. And when you do, weight loss actually becomes a lot easier. It becomes a much different process when you focus on what you're going to do, because you're not losing weight. You're becoming a thin person. I hope that makes sense, you know, because you're not losing weight. The weight's just a reflection of the new behaviors you have, the new ways of eating. You know, I don't want to get into all the details of that, but that's what it is. At my first holiday get together, ate before I came, I've lost 25 pounds and staying strong here. Hey, great job, Kelly. That's awesome. See, that's strategic. That's smarts. Right? A lot of dieters won't eat before they go to a thing because they just think they got to fight the hunger. You know what I mean? Like you just think you have to. Dieting again. I can, and I'm going to do the whole diet video just to kind of put all this into one spot. But I mean, I could just deconstruct the diets for you, because there's multiple very harmful subconscious messages from that diets give you. You know. And so it's important that you stop dieting, because it's a trap. It's a mental trap, you know, and it's very difficult to get out of it. Linda said, okay, sorry, I'm not smart. I don't know what you're up to. You're all over the place. But you're smart, Linda. Come on. But yeah, Kelly, that's smart, right? So that's a strategic solution. And again, dieters aren't taught to be strategic. Because you're taught to, you know, the diet, you're really unawares. You know what I mean? Like, you're not taught to be in tune with your body and to be strategic from those intuitions and awareness. You're taught to just use your conscious willpower to just force yourself to eat and live a certain way. And you can only do that for a little while. And again, what makes a lot more sense, my program is all built around the idea that you're using your conscious mind to program your subconscious mind to start thinking, acting, and eating differently, you know? Don says, I think the acceptance that not dieting just takes a little longer to reach the goal. Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. Because that's another part of the dieting mindset, is you're so impatient. You know, you've been conditioned to be so impatient with your weight loss. I always use this as an example. It's like, I'm confused about what you're talking about. If you were like going to be a bodybuilder, right? Let's give you an alternate point of view. If you decided tomorrow you wanted to be a bodybuilder, right? Like, you wouldn't expect to see, you could start going to the gym and doing all this stuff, but you wouldn't expect to see the results in a month or 2 months, right? I mean, this is a long-term commitment. You're going to be a bodybuilder, right? But when it comes to your weight loss, you're always thinking about days, weeks, and months. You know what I mean? Like most dieters are thinking in time frames of days, weeks, and months, you know, how quick am I going to lose the weight? And you're so conditional. You know, this is one of the main motivational reasons why you can't stick with it, because you're very conditional. You're like, you know what they say in sports, like, you're a fair weather fan. You know what I mean? You're a fair weather healthy person, right? Okay, I'll eat and I'll do that stuff as long as I lose the weight this week, right? And some people weigh themselves every day, just waiting for the weight to come out. It's kind of like if you plant, right? Like, let's say the farmer who plants a seed and keeps digging up to see if it started sprouting. You know what I mean? That's what you're like with the weight loss. And so right from the beginning, your mindset's screwy and your motivation is hinging on a conditional thing, and that's one of the main reasons you can't stick with a plan, is because you are so conditional that if you don't lose the weight quick enough, you get discouraged. That's why you really need to you need to turn this into a personal development process. It's got to be about more than just the number on a scale or size clothes. Even it's got to be about you being the best version of yourself possible, right? Because the truth is that the weight is affecting your life in a lot more ways than you realize, and especially the relationships that are most important to you. So I don't know what's most important to you in your life, but for example, if you're a parent, probably being a good parent is one of the more important things in your life, right? And so I'm here to tell you that your weight is making you a worse parent, a worse partner, a worse worker, a worse entrepreneur, whatever's important to you in your life, the weight's making you worse. If you want to lose it, okay? If you're happy with your weight, again, I'm not saying because you're overweight, that's the problem. I'm saying if you want to lose weight, okay? Because you're in your head thinking about it all the time. You're always thinking about losing weight. And then feeling bad about yourself, and then feeling frustrated when you overeat or eat the wrong thing. And it's making you feel depressed, frustrated, angry, impatient, all these qualities that make you not the best version you can be, And so you really want to make this into a process of who is the best version of me? What is me at my best? Me when I'm kicking ass, who am I? And it's a process focused on that, because there's a lot more motivation there than just like, I just want the scale to move. Because, the weight's a means to an end. Weight and money are very similar this way. Just being a certain weight doesn't automatically mean you're going to be happy. So if you starve yourself, in order to lose weight, it's not, you don't end up in some great place. You know what I mean? It's an anxiety ridden process that brings you to a destination where you're still anxious, and that's not what you want, So understand that this is a process about more than just the number on a scale. It's about how you're making it happen. I was kind of thinking like, process versus outcome. So the weight loss is an outcome, and the process is how you make it happen. And what everyone does with the diet is they're all fixated on the outcome and not the process. This is why I'll get people on lives. What do you think about water fasting? Well, I think it's fucking stupid. Why would you not stop? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're going to stop eating food and just drink water so you can lose weight? For how long? Well, I can lose a pound a day. Yeah, great. For how long? And then what are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? So it's like the diets get you so obsessed with the outcome, but I'm obsessed with the process. And so I was thinking to myself, kind of putting this metaphorically, I'm like, would you take $100,000 that I'd give you, or would you take a machine that prints money, all the money you want? Right? Well, hopefully you take the money, the machine that print all the money you wanted. Right. And so it's the same thing with the weight loss. Like, instead of fixating on how fast you can lose weight on the outcome, why don't you focus on the process of mastering your weight? That's where I'm at. Like, I know how I can control how I'm eating. And I know how to do it. It's a lot of strategy. Again, it's a holistic system. Okay. But I know how to, you could take my brain and put it in anyone's body. We're going to start losing weight instantly, because I know how to become a thin person inside and out. Strategies, lifestyle, mindset, all of it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some genetic factors, but I am saying that it's mostly mindset. Okay. And so it's really about fixating on the process though. And you never do that with weight loss. You don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what I got to do. I just want to lose the weight. And that's what you're always saying, because usually when you start your weight loss process, you're in a really painful state. You just stepped on the scale. You saw a picture of yourself. You feel so shitty. I don't care what I got to do. I just want to lose the weight, and it's very emotional, not committed process, Eleanor says, great advice. I plan to blend slowly into my healthier for lifestyle bit by bit. Yeah, personal development. That's awesome. That's awesome, Eleanor. That's what you want to do. Yeah, that's exactly it. And you be strategic with it, And so what that means, just like any other area of your life you want to improve at, literally anything. You want to play a musical instrument, you want to learn to dance, you want to learn to draw, whatever. It's like you start off not knowing how to do it, and you learn how to do it bit by bit. You try, some things work, some things don't. You keep learning. When it comes to weight loss, you've been conditioned to think you're going to start day one perfectly. And there's no room for learning. It's all or nothing. You're either going to stick to your perfect plan from day one on. It's like an endurance test. How long can I do it? You know, and the second you can't do it, that was a good run. It did okay. I got a couple days, you know? And so it's really about, yeah, you make mistakes and you learn from them. In my program, right, we use the program yourself thin technique, which is the cornerstone of the whole program. And it's really two techniques, the redo and rehearsal technique. But the redo technique's the key part where you reflect on your day and you learn from a mistake. It's literally embedded into the program because that's the most important piece of the weight mastery puzzle. And it's the one you never do. When you make a mistake, you either ignore it or you beat yourself up about it. You never learn from it. You know, so this process, being able to learn from it hypnotically, what I show people is probably the most important piece of truly mastering your weight, you know? And again, with the diets, there's no room to learn from mistakes, you know, because you can't be perfect and learn at the same time, you know, and that's what you're trying to do. You're starting day one. You just expect you're going to be perfect because you're willpowering it. It's totally ass backwards and you just don't even realize it a lot of times, you know? By process, do you mean creating new habits and achieving small goals? Yeah, by process, I mean, yes, definitely partly new habits. Yeah. So I would say in my program, right, there's 3 pillars of weight mastery. And I said pillars, but I'm making a pyramid shape with my hands because the bottom part is mindset, the most important. That's the key foundation you need. Without the mindset, forget it. Then there's lifestyle and then there's eating. And so what most people do is just focus on the eating. And it's like trying to build a house from the roof down. It doesn't work. And so you need to create a solid foundation mindset wise. So the process, there's a lot of mindset pieces. So in my program, the mindset's broken up into six categories: motivation, self-image, habits, emotions, thinking, and maintenance, where you learn, again, you fill out literal blueprints, worksheets about how you're going to motivate yourself, what your new self-image is, what habits, you know, are your worst habits and how we're going to change them neuroscientifically, you know, like with a real rational approach, not just using willpower, how to manage your emotions, how to think like a thin person, and how to maintain. And so that's just the mindset piece. The lifestyle piece is 8 habits. Okay. It's sleep. And these are in order of importance: sleep, hydration, relaxation, proper breathing, nourishment, movement, meditation, gratitude. And when you start to have these in your life, it changes you so that now you have less cravings, more energy, more balanced hormones, more balanced moods. And it sets you up to follow your eating patterns, your eating strategies that keep your hunger low, the calories low, so you can maintain the weight that you want. So the process is, that's the process in detail that I'm talking about: your eating strategies, your lifestyle strategies, and your mindset strategies. And so again, it's a systematic, that's my program is, it's a system of those processes, and you go to work on mastering those processes. And so it's like, if you want to learn to play the piano, you know, if you want to master the piano, you don't just learn a couple songs, you learn chords, you learn scales, you learn your keys, you know what I mean? Like you learn all of this stuff, you learn intervals, you learn chord progressions. So it's like you learn the nuts and bolts of it. And once you understand those, you gain mastery over it, you know? And so it's the same thing. Kelly says, I was 315. First goal is to be less than 300. Final goal is 170. Focus on losing 10 pounds at a time. Kelly, that is great advice. I love that. Because a lot of people, you're so fixated on the big goal, I want to lose 50 pounds. You don't know how to lose 5 pounds. Slow your roll, man. Jesus Christ. I know, because I get in my program, I get a lot of perfectionists, right? People that are, a lot of times they're successful professionals. They're always smart. I've not got a person in my program who's not a smart person, an overthinker, right? I'm certainly an overthinker. And so you got like this supercomputer, but you're running shitty programs, you know? But one of the shittiest programs that perfectionists run, this is the trap they get themselves into, is they want to do everything perfect, right? And part of that perfection is, I want to lose 50 pounds. You know, I got 100 pounds I want to lose. And it's like, they think that, but it overwhelms them subconsciously. So they just stay fixated on their big goal. It overwhelms them. They feel overwhelmed, and they have to in order to get out of what the overwhelm, they have to stop thinking about, oh, I can't think about this anymore. You know, and then they say, okay, let me think about my weight. I will lose 100 pounds. If I don't lose 100 pounds, it's not worth it. And then they overwhelm themselves. And it's a crazy 8. You know what I mean? Just keep going back and forth. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. Oh my God, 100 pounds. How am I going to do that? Oh, I don't know. Let's just stop thinking about it. Let's just eat something. Okay, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. And they just keep boop, 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 boop. If you can relate to that, you know what I mean? So Kelly, that's great advice. Yeah, break it down. You could have a big goal of 100 pounds, but the way you're going to do it where it feels manageable is 5, 10, 15 pound increments for yourself. Because that feels, you can kind of see the lights at the end of the tunnel that way. If it just feels like a forever process, it feels like shit, and you lose your motivation. But that's a point. That's just one example of the fact that you've been trying to lose weight for 10, 20, 30 years, and you literally have no clue how to motivate yourself. This spiel is really just to convince you to stop dieting, and then secondarily, you should get my program. But first, please stop dieting. It's never teaching you any of the skills you need. How could you be dieting for 20, 30 years and you don't know how to motivate yourself? I mean, you know what I mean? If this was a program, you should go get yourself a refund, because how do you not know how to motivate yourself at this point? And you have no clue how to motivate yourself, right? Your motivation comes when the moon's aligned. You have no idea what's controlling your motivation. What controls your motivation is that spontaneous pain-based event. Usually you step on the scale, you see the picture of yourself, you catch your reflection, someone says something shitty to you, you have to go to the doctors, it's like, oh God, and then you got to face it. And then you have motivation for a couple days or a couple weeks, maybe, but you have no idea how to genuinely motivate yourself. In my program, I take you through the motivation matrix. Level 1 is how to use pain and pleasure strategically, because those are the twin forces of motivation. And level 2 is intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. Do you know there's a science of motivation? And you don't, but it's like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like this, it's not that you can't do it. It's that you are never taught how to do it. You have not learned how to do it. You don't know how to be thin. People say like, oh, I know what I got to do, Jim. I just got to get myself to do it. Yeah. That fucking means you don't know how to do it. Yeah. You don't know how to get yourself to do it. That's the problem. You know what I mean? The problem is that you don't know what to do. The problem is you don't know how to get yourself to do it. You don't know how to get yourself to do it consistently. Right? If you were a robot and you just typed in what you should eat all day and then you would just do it because you're a robot, you'd have no problem losing weight. The problem is, okay, I want to do this today and eat it. And then 12 o'clock comes and you're like, I need something sweet. I really feel like I need something sweet. Oh, no, don't do it. We're going to lose weight today. An hour goes by, you're sweating. No, I don't want anything sweet. You know what I mean? You have no idea how to use your mind. You have no idea there's a conscious, subconscious mind. You have no idea your subconscious mind's running the whole thing. And you have no idea your subconscious mind isn't logical and rational. So you don't know how to even communicate with it. And so, you're just winging it and you're doing the same thing over and over and you're ending up with the same exact results, and then you get to a point where you've tried so many diets. And then the worst thing is you've lost some weight and then you put it back on. And now you're like, fuck that. I'm done. I can't get myself to do it. I can't even get myself started anymore because I know it all ends in failure. I don't believe in any of it, And so, then you get stuck. And that's why everyone comes to me. Usually they're 40, 50, 60, because they've got some wisdom. They've got some experience. I've tried all the diets. I always just joke. We had 3 new people started yesterday. And one of them was saying, yeah, I've tried all the diets, right? That's what everyone always says, because I'm the solution of last resort. No one starts with the hypnotist. You know what I mean? You end up at the hypnotist when nothing else is working and you can't get yourself to start any more diets, But again, take that as you graduated. When you can't get yourself to start another diet, take that as your graduation certificate. Congratulations. Because you're just like, you know what I mean? Your subconscious mind's telling you the message. The diets don't fucking work. So we're not going to waste our time, money, or energy on it. Okay. We're done. Now you feel depressed because you're like, well, because at this point you can't even separate weight loss from diets. If you ask people, how do you lose weight? You're going to hear diet, surgery, medicines, right? I go, oh, what do you think about the Ozempic? Yeah. What do I think about it? I think if you don't have type 2 diabetes, what are you doing? I have some clients on that. I mean, never mind. I saw an ad for it the other day and I was shocked because almost as big as the headline was the warning that said it might cause thyroid tumors. And it's like, usually it's like the fine print. I was like, holy shit, this is like a sub headline. I'm like, yikes, but never mind the tumors. If we can put the tumors, let's just put the potential tumors to the side for just a second. What pretty much happens is, it stops the food noise. This is why I hear, it stops the food noise. Okay. It stops the food noise? Because I got some clients on it. They feel nauseous all day. Yeah. How was yesterday? It was kind of shitty. I just laid in bed and slept all day because I felt nauseous all day. Yeah. So I get it. I get people are desperate. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's mindset, folks. You got to develop your mindset. All right. That's the secret to mastering your weight. Let's see. Listen to you every morning and night. Thank you. All right, Kelly. Good job. I'm glad. You have to be inspired to do it, creates an internal drive. Yeah, exactly. That's what you need. You need to create the internal drive, but no one ever focuses on that part because you don't want to put the work in, and this is why, again, I feel bad for people because I don't think it's anyone's fault because you're so inundated. I mean, think about how many diet commercials you've seen in your life. We've all seen millions of them, and they're just messing our brains up. I got to do this video just to break it all down for you. Okay. But literally the diets are programming you to be overweight in a very sneaky way. But, at the end of the day, the position most people are in with their weight is that you're now conditioned to not really even make a commitment. You know, if you thinking like, oh, okay, it's Sunday night, tomorrow I'm going to start my plan. I'm going to do it. Well, no, you're not, because it's the shittiest, it's the weakest form of commitment. You know what I mean? Like inside yourself, oh, I'm going to eat. I'm not going to eat sugar tomorrow. I'm going to stop eating carbs tomorrow. Okay. Let me know. Can you give me a call at 7 o'clock and let me know how it went? You know, because 80% of the time it went like shit. And the main reason is you're not committed. You know what I mean? Like you don't even want to lose weight. You wish you'd lose weight. You know what I mean? Like you wish you'd wake up someday and magically just start eating better. But your level of want, how much actual energy and commitment you'd put into actually making it happen is pretty low. And I'm just pointing that out to you. That's why I always say the first thing you got to do, the first thing you got to do is that you got to learn how to motivate yourself, because you're not really motivated. Let me give you the example, the thought experiment. You're not going to like this perhaps, but it's just a thought experiment. Imagine the person you care the most about in your life, the person you love the most in your life was kidnapped. And the kidnapper says, you're never going to see them again unless you lose weight this month. All right. In that situation, would you have any trouble losing weight? Maybe the kidnapper said, you know what? And on top of that, I'm going to put all your favorite foods around you in your house. Would you even give a shit? No. Right. Because in that situation, you'd be so motivated, so focused, so committed that it would be easy. You could be surrounded with all this food and you would just block them out. I don't give a shit. I'm not eating any of them. I want to lose the weight and get this person back in my life. You see? Now, I just say that as a thought experiment just to prove you're nowhere near that. I say that's a level 10 out of 10, right? And you're like a 2 or 3. So the first problem you have is that you're not really committed. You're not really motivated. And so there's no point even starting any diet or weight loss plan until you're genuinely committed. And you're not, most likely. Okay? Don't get mad at me. You know what I mean? But it's just the truth. And I get on these to be honest with you, you know, so you can realize, oh, it's not that I can't lose weight. It's that I haven't committed to it. There's a big difference there. Because if you feel like, this is what I always get, I'm doing everything right and I'm not losing weight. No matter what I do, I can't lose weight. That's not true. It's never true. You know, it's always as far as I've seen. So when I find someone who literally can't lose weight, I'll let you know. I've not found that yet. You know, it's a combination, not being committed and complete lack of awareness. But that's another story. Kelly said, gotta go. Linda says, can I tell you my secret? Oh boy. Do we want to know Linda's secret? I feel like we don't want to know Linda's secret. Go ahead, Linda, hit me with your secret. I'd like to hear it. I'm about to get out of here. Give me your secret. All right. So yeah, if anyone's got any more questions, so I'll tell you what to do though. Anyways, if you are here now and you haven't done it yet, go to my bio, click that link and go get your hypnosis session. All right. So I give you a free hypnosis session so you can feel what it's like, you know, to experience hypnosis. Now, again, I want to be clear, hypnosis, and I hate to say this for my fellow hypnotists, but there's no hypnosis program out there that's going to get you to master your weight. Okay. Because you need to learn how to do it yourself. Again, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and, you know, 3 sessions for $100, I ain't going to do anything. Okay. You need to how to do this yourself. Chris is her secret on the term if we end this live or not, right? I know now I'm going to stand for like 3 hours just to hear her secret. Come on, Linda, tell us her secret. We're all waiting now. Maybe a doozy. But what was I going to say? Yeah. So the hypnosis, it's important to understand hypnosis, by the way, hypnosis isn't being in a trance. The trance is just kind of a vehicle to do the hypnosis. What hypnosis is it's a process of influencing your subconscious mind. Okay. So that's important to understand. And so you're experiencing hypnosis all the time. Every time you watch a movie or a TV show, you're experiencing hypnosis because you're watching this movie or this show and you're in a passive state and you're basically allowing yourself to imagine what it's like to be in that scenario. And because you're allowing yourself to imagine that what the situation is, you're vicariously experiencing it, that imagining it is giving you feelings as if you were actually in it. Okay. So literally, if you're watching sports, you're literally releasing adrenaline into your body as if you were playing the sport. If you're watching a comedy, you're literally releasing endorphins and laughing and feeling bad. If you're watching a drama, you're literally feeling bad about it. So using hypnosis is just using our imagination to influence our subconscious mind to do the things we want it to do. All right. So it's a process you need to learn. So my program, again, there is hypnosis. We use it as a supplement. It's a very powerful state to be in. And it's a very powerful experience and supplement to reinforce the process. But ultimately, what's going to dictate your ability to master your weight, I believe, is your ability to program your subconscious mind. And so the technique I teach you, it's a 1 to 2 minute technique you use to program your subconscious mind in the evening. And then you fill out your weight mastery blueprints, which is your strategies that you're going to follow that are custom built for you, your situation, your lifestyle, your preferences. And so I say this to you so you understand the big picture of weight mastery. There is no shortcut. Okay. Any path you're going to take that is going to bring you to the goal of mastering your weight is obviously going to take work and commitment. Okay. And so I say that to you because if you see some magical plan, I mean, even the surgeries, right? Literally you get surgery and plenty of people that get the surgeries put the weight back on, because the surgery just makes it harder to eat a lot of calories a day. What those people learn to do that don't deal with the emotional, the mental mindset piece of the weight is they just eat all day long. They can't eat a lot anymore. So they just eat all day long, So again, it always comes down to your mindset, and so anything that seems like a simple, easy fix to master your weight is not going to work. It's that simple. There's no easy, simple trick to learn the piano other than you put your time and effort in. And it's like that with any skill. Okay. So I say that to you to give you the eyes and the awareness to avoid, any more bullshit, strategies or ideas out there, What's that, Sandra? Is hard. Yeah. Well, weight loss is hard, but I'll tell you, weight loss is hard. You think weight loss is hard. I'm not going to say it's not hard because it takes focus and motivation and discipline to make any change in your life. No doubt about it. But what I would say is this, that there's different types of hard. Okay. So dieting feels super hard because deep down, you don't believe it's even going to work. Oh, surgery didn't work. You had it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Christy. Right. And I think I'm saying Christy. I'm assuming your name's Christy, but I might be saying it wrong. I don't know if it's Christian. Right? I lost 40 pounds and I'm stuck. What's that mean? What's stock mean? I'm stuck. I lost 40 pounds and I'm stuck. Yeah, Chrissy, right? So that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like it's always the mindset piece. That bums me out so hard because I've had so many people that I work with them. They go, listen, I just want to lose enough weight. Like I got to lose because, you got to lose weight. Different situations with a surgery, you got to lose weight before you can get the surgery. And so like if he'll say, hey, can you help me lose the weight so I can get the surgery? And I say, geez, I'm like, if I can help you lose the weight, would you at least keep open the idea that you just stick with the plan? You know what I mean? And don't get the surgery. Some people get their mindset so stuck on that. But at the end of the day, no matter what, same with the Ozempic, it's like, we can take that forever. You know what I mean? Like, geez, just put the work in, Now I say that, but you can't put the work in the diet because the diet never shows you how to change your mindset ever. And the diet's always that one tactic. So you need a holistic strategy to really master your weight. Again, involving your mindset, lifestyle, and then your eating. Yeah, I'm sorry, Christy. I feel like that always bums me out. Like, anyway, anytime someone loses the weight and then puts it back on, it's Christia. Oh, Christiana. You can call me Chris. Okay, I'll call you Chris. Christiana. Oh, Christiana. Yeah. Okay, Christiana. That's a cool way to spell it. Christiana. Yeah, again, it sucks. Anytime someone loses a lot of weight and then puts it back on, it just sucks, because you put all that work in. That's why I always say, like, if you can slow down and have a little more patience with this, the process I'm talking about it's one of weight mastery. It's about developing skills. It doesn't have to happen all at once. If you can get yourself into a more patient mindset, because what a lot of people do, right? The dieting philosophy, and this is internally, the way you think about weight loss is as such, I bet. There's what you're typically eating. Okay. And then this is the calories you're consuming on average. That's maintaining the weight you have now. And then what happens with the diet is you're way cutting down to here calories. So you get fast weight loss. And then once you lose the weight, then you're going to go back up to your maintenance weight. Right. But it's like, why not just go down to the maintenance weight right from the start? It's way easier. It takes a little longer, but it's way easier. And if you start to embed in that, like I'm only going to follow strategies that fit with me. I remember this was the biggest shift. So how I did this, I was 50 pounds heavier, right? And so I came across hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming and a bunch of other things. It was a miracle. But NLP, neurolinguistic programming, is really the science of modeling. And so basically the idea is find someone who got the results you want and model what they did. Not just what they did externally, not just their behavior, but how they think about things. And so I found people that had lost weight and kept it off, and I began speaking with them. And again, with this NLP approach. And I started to notice almost instantly that they had a completely different mindset. They thought about themselves, food, their health, exercising, everything way different than I was, and certainly all the people around me. Just to prove the point, I mean, growing up, the guy who knew the most about diets and weight loss was a family friend of ours. He was a 400-pound comedian. He lived the last 20 years of his life in a wheelchair. This guy would start a different diet every single week. I mean, he knew absolutely everything. He would just talk for hours about like diet philosophies. He knew literally everything except how to keep it off and how to stick with it, And so studying these people, it was night and day. And again, I the NLP stuff let me see this, But anyways, long story short, it's the mindset work. You know what I mean? It's how you're thinking about things. And so with the diet mindset, you think, you're diet fluent. You're a diet mindset person, and that's what you need to change because it's such a trap. And so from 19, I started saying, I'm not going to do anything to lose weight unless it's something I can imagine myself doing when I'm 90, And that was really the model I began following. And here I am 30 years later, and I've been at the exact same weight for 30 years. I won blip 10 years ago. I put like 20, 25 pounds on. But why am I able to do that? Why am I able to do it? Because I've never dieted. I've not dieted in 30 years. I'm not starving. I'm not fighting deprivation. I'm not struggling. What's happened is I have created, again, I have a rock solid mindset. So I think like a thin person. I know how to motivate myself and keep myself motivated. When I start to feel my motivation waning, I know how to boost it back up. Okay. I have a self-image. This is the key part. I transformed how I was thinking. I used to think like an overweight person, and I expected I was going to be overweight, and I changed that. Okay. So my self-image changed. That was the cornerstone. That's the cornerstone of my whole program, to be honest. It's, and that's the biggest shift that would be for you, is that your whole weight loss process, even get to the surgery, I just want to lose the weight. So you're not doing any of the inner work, because ultimately your weight loss success is not going to depend on how much weight you can lose. It's going to depend on who you want to be and moving towards something, wanting to be the type of person you want to be. So that self-image component is crucial. Habits. I know how to control my habits. I understand the neuroscience of habits. I understand how to subconsciously program myself so that I do the habits I want to do. I know how to deal with my emotions. That may be the biggest thing, because my story is my father died of a heart attack at 54. I was 9 years old. And so I knew, he was obese, had an unhealthy lifestyle, had heart issues, knew about all this stuff, and could not change his weight. Okay. And so, this process for me is life and death. And I didn't know how to deal with his death. For 10 years after that, I knew I didn't want to go down that path. I was 50 pounds heavier. I was binge drinking, depressed, lost, all the rest of it. And I believe that the biggest shift in terms of me being able to stick with something was learning how to deal with the negative emotions. I was at a point in my life, I couldn't talk about the pain I felt from that. My mom, God bless her, was an amazing woman. She didn't know how to deal with that. So she even says it now. She's like, I just didn't want you to be unhappy. So we can never talk about feeling all those horrible things. And so my strategy was I just avoid them, drink, eat, do crazy shit. So I didn't think about it. And so really one of the key parts of mastering my weight was being able to interface with really unpleasant emotions. I guess what I'm saying is I learned how to deal with the unpleasant emotions that I didn't want to experience in a way that didn't involve food. And I simultaneously learned other ways to feel the emotions I wanted to feel that didn't involve food. You have to understand, in our society, food's probably the number one emotional management strategy people rely on. So when you want to change your weight, I swear that the number one thing is that you're using food for emotional reasons. And you get rid of the food when you want to lose weight, but you've also gotten rid of your ability to deal with your emotions. And you get a couple days into a diet, and maybe you lost some weight and you feel a little better physically, but emotionally you're just a wreck. You're just all in a state of chaos. So you got to be able to manage that. Then there's the thinking part, the mindset. Do you know how to think like a thin person? No, you don't. You know what I mean? Like trying to think like a thin person on your own is like trying to learn Chinese without ever speaking to someone who speaks Chinese. You know what I mean? Like you're going to learn Chinese on your own. How are you going to do that? But you're trying, and then maintenance, again, maintenance, people have a totally wrong idea of it. You think you're going to start your maintenance when you get to your goal weight. You got to learn how to maintain from day one to day two, week one to week two. And you don't know how to do that. You know, you have no strategies for that. You're all or nothing, you know? So anyways, so that's just the mindset piece. And then there's the lifestyle, and then there's the eating. So, you know, that's how I do. I've got very specific things I want to do that I know keep me at my goal weight. And most people that want to lose weight, I just can't overeat. I just don't want to eat that wrong food. You know what I mean? It's such a half-baked, half-assed plan. It's not even a plan, you know? And so, anyway, so if you want to go further with this, go to my bio, click that link, get the hypnosis session. Once you watch that, or once you opt in for that, it takes a couple minutes to send it to you, but I give you the training, 3 steps to master your weight. It's about a half hour or so, but that'll break down what I was just talking about, you know, in a bit more detail. And if you're, well, geez, Christiana, you're definitely serious. You got surgery. So you should absolutely watch that training, because it'll illuminate a bit, you know what I mean, of the weight loss journey that you have not been aware of so far. And it's the part that's keeping you stuck, you know? Yeah, great. And then if you get through that, and you know, I talk about my program, and there's a special offer there. So if you want to join it, I would do it through that link. Okay. Don't buy it through my website. Watch that. Because this program would be, you know, my program is amazing. A bunch of people started yesterday, and it was funny because one of them said, she goes, what am I going to do? Start my meal plan tomorrow? It's Friday, and I got family coming, it's Easter and all that stuff. I said, no, that's not what you're going to do in my program. My program, right? I always joke, my program is guaranteed the only weight loss program you start on a Friday. Certainly the only weight loss program you'd ever start on a Friday before Easter or any holiday. Why is that? Right? So I said, you're not going to start with some crazy meal plan tomorrow, right? What you do is you wake up tomorrow. My program's delivered through an app on your phone, right? There's also a website, you know, the membership site where you access everything. But I know, again, I've done over 5,000 private weight loss sessions. So the one thing I always hear, and I really pride myself on this, that my clients tell me, is that what I'm saying is the most practical and useful techniques to master your weight. Because, you know, anyone can tell you what to do. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, just eat 1,000 calories. Oh, just stop doing this. It's like, yeah, you can say anything. It's the day-to-day. Can you get yourself to do it? That's where my mind's been at, you know, for all this time. So when you start the program, my program, I know that the thing that's going to dictate your success is the inner work. It's how you're feeling. And so if you're stressed and depleted, which you probably are, right? Because most people start their diet when they're at a low, emotionally, mentally, physically, and then they try and do something really hard, right? It makes no sense. So what you do in my program, and what these people did today, is you wake up and there's a message from me on your phone, and you click that message, and your 5-minute morning hypnosis sessions on there, right? So my program is 8 weeks. So every day for 8 weeks, you start the morning with a 5-minute hypnosis session. It's always different, you know? So by the end of it, you've got 57 weight loss mantras put into your mind in the morning, and you start your day relaxed and calm. You start your day with a head full of positivity and encouragement and new ways of thinking, like a thin person, like a healthy person, like a happy person. And that's it. You know what I mean? And then you go about your day. But that session and that experience has a residual effect. You know, it's kind of like, you ever had a dream that kind of sticks with you throughout the day? It kind of feels a bit like that. And then you go through your day doing whatever you do. And then you get home at night, and then there's a sleep hypnosis session, right? So each week there's a different sleep hypnosis session. It's a 10-minute session. And there's 2 kinds. There's one that has a count out at the end, if you want to listen to it, you know, when you get home at night. And the other one has no count out if you want to listen to it as you go to sleep and then fall right to sleep. And again, each one of those has a core weight loss mantra for 8 weeks. You put those in your brain. So you're starting your day off in this calm, relaxed state with all this positivity in your brain. You go to sleep relaxed and calm with all this positive messaging and programming into your mind. And that's the cornerstone. You know what I mean? That's the core of the program. And then you learn the program yourself then technique. So you take a minute or two and you go over your day and you redo, you know, one behavior you wish you'd done better. So you learn and you program yourself how to act differently in your environment. This is one of the most important pieces, is that my program is an at-home immersion program. Okay. And this is so crucial because, you know, one of the worst things you could do, never do this, especially you, Christiana, because obviously you're into, you know, high-end solutions, because the surgery wasn't cheap, I'm going to assume, and it wasn't easy. But sometimes people will go on like retreats to learn how to eat better and you know, think a little better. That's the biggest waste of your money you could make, because you're doing all that in a completely different environment. And then you come back to your home and you go right back to who you were. Biggest pissing away of money you could do. So do not do that. My program is very intentional to get you thinking and acting and behaving this way in your normal environment, because most of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are triggered by your environment. Notice your behaviors. You're not eating all day long. You're eating at certain specific times. It's triggered by time of day, time of week. It's triggered by who's there or who's not there. Now you're alone. It's triggered by your emotions, what mood you're in. So it was triggered by location, where you're at. So there's all these subconscious triggers that are going off and causing you to think, act, and respond that way. So this program helps you to reprogram your mind in your normal environment, so that, again, you're going to bed and you're relaxed and calm. You're waking up, you're in your bedroom, you're relaxed and calm, walking into your kitchen, relaxed and calm. And you start to do, she goes, yeah, there it is. I told you, Christiana. Do I tell you I know you? I know this stuff, right? I know what you're thinking. It's so funny. I thought about the retreat. Don't do the retreat, please. It's some. I did that. When I did one of my NLP training, I went out to Sedona. And it was a whole thing for, so I drove out there. I did like a big cross, because I live in Massachusetts. And so I did the big cross country trip, and it was fun. And I drove out to Sedona, Arizona. And I remember I camped out. It was fun. It was I was in a slightly different spot. I was kind of weird back then. But anyways, I went out there and I did the whole training, and it was unbelievable. Sedona is a magical place. Everything I was learning was just like, oh my God. And I was just like, it was amazing. And then I remember driving back home across country, and I remember myself leaving that feeling and all that stuff behind. I got back home and I just felt like I lost a lot of it. Now, luckily I knew a lot of the mindset. I got some of it back, but that was shocking to me. So yeah, those retreats that's the problem with them, is that, again, as long as if you could live in that retreat, not even just because people are preparing stuff and everything's about that, it's literally you associate it to that environment. And so that's very important, that you associate how you want to be in your normal environments. That's why you have to learn to program yourself. That program yourself technique I was talking about, when you're doing, it's the redo and rehearsal technique. And it's very intentional, because you're programming yourself in your normal environment. I just can't state how important this is. So you're looking at your day, and when you make the mistake, you're going back into where you made it, in the situation, in the mood you're in, the location, who was there, who wasn't there, recognizing all these things, and you're reprogramming yourself. But your subconscious mind, that's how it works. It just links things together. So you'll notice your behaviors run in patterns. When you're overeating, it's very specific. And so, anyways, I don't go into too much detail with it, but that's the point of it. And then, so that's the core of the program. I mean, programming yourself. You had all this, again, I call it like a hypnotic weight loss cocoon. And so that's kind of the bookends of it. And then again, you fill out this workbook, because it's literally your blueprints that you start following. And again, this is something no one ever does. You know what I mean? You need to customize all this stuff to who you are, And so that's the core program. But then maybe that's the key part, but one of the most valuable parts is that in my program, because you need this, is that I work with you. We've got coaching calls 3 times a week. That's what people are like. Again, they're like, man, it's such a difference, because I'll give you an example, right? So if you close one eye and look at your nose, you see it. Close your other eye and look at your nose, you see it, right? Open both eyes, your brain deletes your nose from your awareness, right? So the way your brain works, there are challenges and solutions that are right in front of you right now, but you can't see them, because it's like they're just part of the wallpaper. Your brain is just deleting them. So working with someone else that really knows what they're doing is such a crucial part of the process. Working with a coach and someone to kind of help you along this process. I'll give you an example, specifically what I mean. We had someone, and I don't think she's still on. I don't know if you're on here, Tracy. I should just say your name, but it's not on there anyways, your name. But anyway, so someone started the program, and this is a very smart, intelligent person, successful professionally, very smart, all the things, that a person or a program is. And so they got on the first call and they go, I don't know what's going on. I'm doing everything right, and I'm not losing weight, And so talked to her about things, and talked about things. And anyways, get on the call the following week. And she goes, you know what? I snack pretty much every night, 8 to 10. Right. So what I'm trying to say is that, we tend to think that we're aware of everything, but we're not. And so getting on these calls, again, these calls Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3:00, and there's a call Tuesday at 7:00. I work directly with you. And so when you feel down and you feel discouraged and you feel like it's not working, that's what I do. I turn people around 180 degrees, and to have that, support is crucial, because I can probably, I genuinely feel this way now. I don't know another person on the planet that does what I do. I don't, you know what I mean? I really do fill a unique void in the weight loss world because everyone's telling you what to do. Everyone's teaching you more information, and no one really focuses on the inner game of transformation, you know, how to transform yourself into the person you want to be. And that's what I've done. You know what I mean? For 30 years personally and 20 years professionally. And there's very few people you can go to. You know, sometimes I get people coming to me and they're just at a very low. And I'm not happy they're at a low, but that's what I do. I take people that are low and I turn them around. And that's probably, you know, I keep saying everything in the program is most valuable, but it's so valuable when you come in and you feel completely discouraged and frustrated, and I can turn you around because two things happen. One is you create the belief, oh, I can change how I feel. Oh, you know what I mean? I can get back on track, because getting back on track is the number one skill you need to develop. No one thinks about this because the diet mindset, it's all or nothing, and you think it's an endurance test to being perfect. But when it comes to weight mastery, it's a long time frame. It's a long timeline. And so perfection is not even an option. So what's most important is the ability to get back on track quickly. And so when I do this for you, to you, with you, you create that belief. And then secondarily, I show you how I'm doing it to you so that you can do it to yourself, because it's all thinking. It's all how you're thinking in your head that's doing it. So, yeah, that's how it is. I wasn't obese, no, but I was 50 pounds heavier. And I always say the biggest, now I had an advantage. I grew up thin, you know what I mean? And then I started putting weight on. But even growing up, my mom would, oh my God, if she didn't tell me this 10 million times, she told me so many times, and I was thin when I was growing up. I used to get liver shots, and now look at me. You know, she was overweight. And she'll always tell me that. And I always remember, like, once I got control of my weight, you know, at 19, I'd lost the weight, and it was been a number of years. And I remember a belief, because I was just driving along, all of a sudden one day I caught myself and I had the thought, well, when I get older, I'm going to put the weight, I'm going to be overweight when I get older. I was like, whoa, wait, what'd you say? What did you just think? And it was like, oh, I was assuming everyone I knew got overweight when they got older, you know? And I'd start getting overweight. I put 50 pounds, I was 19. And so I changed it. But then even after years I changed it for like 4 or 5 years, I think it was at this point, I was like, oh shit, I still think I'm going to be overweight when I'm older. And I had to grab that thought. So wait a second. That's a big part of what we do, is we grab these thoughts that fly by and are affecting us. We grab me. Whoa, hold on. What's that thought? And I did that. I pulled that thought out. I said, why would I assume I'm on a completely different path? I'm not dieting here. I've created a completely different lifestyle way of eating. And I reinforced all that. And I said, and now, you know, again, now I've reinforced that I believe 100% that I am going to be at this weight for the rest of my life, you know, because I love living the way I'm living. You know what I mean? Like, I've never thought, wow, I'd like not to be morbidly obese. I've never thought, wow, I'd like not to be. What are you saying? Are you saying you're always thinking, I don't want to be morbidly obese? Is that what you mean there? Because that's what I'm taking it as, because that's what most people think. Most people have a looping thought track in their mind that is some version of, I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight, you know? And okay, so why that doesn't work, right? Your subconscious mind doesn't understand negatives, right? So if I tell you don't think about what I'm about to tell you. I want you not to think about it, okay? Get yourself ready. Get all your willpower ready and whatever you got to do to not think about what I'm going to say, okay? Don't think about a banana. Don't think about a banana. Don't think about a banana. I'm joking with you, but you know what I mean? You get the idea, right? I say banana, and subconsciously your visual cortex lights up with the image of a banana, because you need to make sense of what I'm saying. You can't stop that process. Your subconscious mind instantly lights up. What's a banana mean? You know? Yeah, exactly. And so you're thinking about a banana, but now let's take this to a diet. I just don't want to be overweight. I just don't want to be fat. I want to stop being fat. I want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. I want to stop eating ice cream. I got to stop eating candy. I got to stop eating sugar. I got to stop eating sugar, right? It's every diet. And you're subconsciously fixed on the exact thing you want to stop doing. The second thing about your subconscious mind is it responds to vivid imagination as if it were reality. This is why you like movies and shows. You know, so literally, again, you're watching sports that you're into, you're literally releasing adrenaline. You know, your ass is sitting on the sofa doing nothing, but you're releasing adrenaline because you're into the game. You know what I mean? And if you're watching a horror movie, you're tense and, you know, but you feel nervous, you're responding to it literally, you know? So you go on a diet and you're fixating all the foods and things you don't want to be. You're literally creating and amplifying the cravings and desire for it. And then you're trying to willpower stop yourself from doing it. So it's a fucked up strategy. It doesn't work, obviously, you know, but now you know why. And so that's why it's so important Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, Christiana, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what everyone does. Listen, again, every conversation I've had with people, because what I've done for years, I've had the Program Yourself Thin course. The one I have now is the newest version. I just released in January. I redid the whole thing because for the last few years, I was coaching. I was doing a lot of private coaching. And then last year, I spent the year certifying coaches in the Program Yourself Thin system. And so I was like, I really want to help more people do it. But anyways, so I was doing private coaching and it cost $10,000 to work with me, right? That's the private coaching fee. That's what I charge. And so when I'm talking to people, I said, listen, let's understand your situation. What happened? You lost the weight and you put it back on. What went on? And they said, well, when I lost the weight, I didn't know who I was. Like, I didn't feel like myself, and that's because you're obsessed with not being overweight. All you do is think about yourself as an overweight person. And what you need to do is start thinking about yourself as the person you want to be. That's why that self-image piece I was talking about, you need to articulate. It's a work, it's a process. Because if I ask you now, who do you want to be? A, it's a vacuum. You can't even answer it, Then you go through the worksheet and you start, writing stuff down. I break it down for you and you say, okay, that's cool. But it's a process. You know what I mean? It's even me, like I'm always working on who do I want to be because I'm always reaching new levels. So I'm always like redefining and rearticulating who I want to be. It's fun, by the way, but that's the process where it's so different, and that, Christiana, it was entirely, I don't want to be that overweight person. I don't want to be that overweight person. I don't want to be that overweight person, yeah. After surgery, I just kept thinking, what if I gain the weight back? Yeah. What if I gain the weight back? What if I gain the weight back? So what are you imagining in your mind? You see, again, you're your own best or worst hypnotist, you see, because you're always up in your head with your internal dialogue. Always. You know what I mean? That it's crucial that you start thinking about what you want as opposed to what you don't want, because what you don't want is, what's the difference between saying, think about a banana, don't think about a banana, think about a banana, stop thinking about a banana, think about a banana, don't think about a banana, think about a banana. What if you think about a banana? Don't think about a banana, right? There's no difference. There's a difference intellectually. You understand what I'm saying, but psychologically there's very little different. You thinking about a banana, you got bananas in your brain right now, right? Whether I say think about it or don't think about it, you see? And so the entire time, again, you got the surgery even. This is what I'm trying to tell you all. Get the fucking injection, get the surgery, go on whatever diet you want, lose the weight. If your mindset is, what if I gain the weight back? I just don't want to gain the weight back. I just don't want to gain the weight back. Oh shit, I'm gaining the weight back. I don't want to gain, you know what I mean? It's one path you're on, So you got to put yourself on a different path of, what do I want to weigh? Who do I want to be? And it's night and day. You know what I mean? Because the process becomes, who do I want to be? How do I need to think, feel, and act to become that person? That's the secret. So, yeah, Christiana, check it out. Cause I mean, you should be in the program, thinking about everything you're doing. I mean, I could tell you, no doubt about it. Yeah. Oh, what am I paying on my 600-pound life? That's an exaggerated version of it, right? So I can tell you're already an overthinker and you're smart and you're creative. So now, yeah, you're fantasizing in your mind. You're doing hypnosis. You're programming yourself, right? You're using hypnosis and you're literally giving yourself suggestions to the extreme of, what if I'm on my 600-pound life? And you're imagining yourself in that scenario. Think about it this way. Even with the surgery, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The surgery doesn't even matter. The surgery is just a road bump. You know what I mean? It just slows you up for a little bit. But it's like, if the mindset is always like, I'm an overweight person, then that's what you're going to create. You know what I mean? So it's like, once you take that same brain and you start orienting it towards what you want, that's when things start changing in pretty profound ways, because you start using all that power that you've been using. Because think about it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Think about this. You've done literally everything you possibly can to change your weight, and it feels like it's not working. That's how powerful your subconscious mind is, And again, you're programming yourself to get the exact results you're getting. I hope because I really appreciate you just saying this, Christiana, because it's giving context to what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, because what people think is, well, if I lose the weight, then I'll be a different person. Once I lose the weight, because I always say, what are you going to do once you lose the weight? What happens then? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Leave me alone. Stop asking me about that. I'll just figure it out. No, you won't. No, you won't, because it's an inner thing. If you keep, okay, I'll give you one more example. And Christiana already did it, but you can go to YouTube. My YouTube is Jim Kitsulis. And I did a coaching call. I did 2 of them. They're up there. They're interesting. But it's really interesting that you'll see one of the people One of the people they've been on a weight loss plan for 2 months at that point and lost 20 pounds. And they go, you would think they would be over the moon, right? 20-pound weight loss. Holy shit. Congratulations, right? No. They're real nervous, right? They're getting wobbly. I'm having a harder time sticking with it. You see? So the weight loss alone, you're thinking like, okay, I'll do this crazy shit to lose some weight because once I lose some weight, then I don't know what. I'll become a thin, that'll be easier. I don't know. You have to do the mindset stuff first and then let the weight loss happen. You keep thinking you're going to lose the weight and it's going to change you. And it doesn't necessarily. Geez, look at Christiana here. Clearly a smart, motivated, ambitious person to make it happen. But I appreciate you saying that, Christiana, because what if I put the weight back on? I'm scared to death. And then you're so scared of it. So now all that emotion comes in and it makes the suggestion even stronger. Makes that even more powerful. So again, it all comes down to, in my mind, mindset and, and that work. All right. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, a great Easter if you're celebrating it. If you're serious, go and get my hypnosis session and go watch the training. Christiana, go watch to the end and go get the program. Heidi says, do more lives connecting. What does that mean? Do more lives connecting. What does that mean? Write in what you mean there. I don't understand what that means. Do more lives connecting. And also, by the way, you all should get that hypnosis session anyways, because I email you all the time stuff. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm starting to do more webinars. And so those are only, you get those if you on my email list, you'll get a notification for them so that you can do them. All right. But yeah, those are great too. So great. All right, everyone, have a great weekend and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.